Hey, it's Snake. So, at the time of me recording this, I just got done listening to the first two stages of Everywhere at the End of Time. And, I decided that I'm not going to experience the entire album in one go, because I had a couple of discussions with some friends who have also listened to the album, and they said, you may not have the stamina to listen to the whole thing, and also, the 6 stages of the album were originally released 6 months apart from each other, so it's almost kind of intended for the experience to be broken up into parts. But since I just got done listening to the first 2 stages, and I've put the album away for now, I think I'm going to listen to the album 2 stages at a time. So I did stages 1 and 2 today. On my next session, I believe I'll be doing stages 3 and 4, and then I'll finish it off with stages 5 and 6 on a listening session after that. But as long as stages 1 and 2 are fresh on my mind, and I've just gotten done listening to them, I figured I should give my thoughts. And for stage 1, honestly, I don't really have much to talk about. I had already listened to several tracks off of stage 1 when I, started getting into listening to this album in full, and I even listened to some of the tracks off of stage 1 just casually, even when I'm not thinking about this album or the Caretaker's work. So I don't have much to say, but other than stage 1 just felt very relaxed and peaceful. It was totally something I could see myself listening to casually while doing literally anything, just to provide some atmosphere that may not have been there if I was listening to something else or nothing at all. But stage 2 is where it got kind of interesting. Now, the first track that really stood out to me in stage 2 was Glimpses of Hope in Trying Times, and it was absolutely horrifying. I was not expecting things to already start getting I guess that bad by the time I was in stage 2. I thought it wouldn't be until stage 3 that I would start to notice things starting to take a turn for the worst. But when I got to stage 2 and I got to Glimpses of Hope in Trying Times, it was becoming evidence that something was going wrong, and it gave a glimpse into what was to come in the future. And stage 1 had discs A and B, I believe, and stage 2 has discs C and D. Right at the start of disc D, I hated it already. It was terrifying. In a way that's hard to put into words. That's the thing about the Caretaker's music. In a previous video where I discussed An Empty Bliss Beyond This World, one of the things I talked about was the fact that the experience was hard to describe with words, and I'm already finding that that goes with a lot of the Caretaker's music. It's just something you have to experience for yourself to really understand how it feels, and how this can sort of affect you as a listener, and how it can give you insight into what's going on inside, the Caretaker character's mind. But Disc D, so far in this entire listening experience, Disc D, which was the latter half of stage 2, was what stood out to me the most. I was kind of preoccupied with some other stuff, taking care of some chores around the house and whatnot while I was listening, but eventually I just kind of had to stop and just stand in my room and focus on the music. And the implications that the music started to give off towards the end of Disc D were, I've used the word multiple times before, but they were horrifying. Stage 2 did a really good job of foreshadowing what was to come in the 4 stages after that, and I had already listened to bits of every single stage before going into this album, but for the majority of the material that I had not gone through yet, Disc D provided a lot of really good foreshadowing. So those are just about my thoughts on the first 2 stages of Everywhere at the End of Time. Again, I'll be listening to stages 3 and 4 sometime in the future, maybe either later today or tomorrow, and I'll be documenting my thoughts on those as well. I have my phone off to the side here with, you know, I'm taking notes as I go through it just so I can remember what I want to say at the end of each stage. But, yeah, this is just a quick little video with my thoughts on the Everywhere at the End of Time experience so far. That'll be about it. I've been These Rocks, and I will see you all later. Thank you all for watching.